So I'm a regular listener of the WTF podcast, as I know that you are as well.
Yes, you're more regular than I am.
Yes, and our buddy Michael Shannon was recently on that show.
I thought it was really good. I liked that it got into his theatrical work, and it seemed as though he could have done like 15 minutes on every single play he was ever in.
If I were his bandmates, I'd be a little upset at him because he was really downplaying the band.
Yeah?
It seemed like he didn't want to say the name of it, and he didn't want to tell anyone where they could find the music.
It's easier to have an actor as your frontman if he isn't really famous, or else you get a 30-odd foot of grunt situation.
That is the worst band name I've ever heard.
Maybe it's something...
Russell Crowe's band.
Yeah, maybe it's something sexy and romantic in Australia.
I doubt it. I don't even like hearing it.
I don't like to hear Throbbing Gristle as a band name. I'm not entirely certain what those two words mean together.
I think you can figure it out.
Every possibility is horrifying.
I've got a bunch of movies that I've never seen before. You don't know what they are. Every episode, I'm going to spring one on you. It might be good. It might be bad. We'll watch it and talk about it. Welcome to the basement.
Cecil. Welcome to the basement for our end of the year extravaganza, where we bid a fond farewell to season 5. We're going to be looking back on the year we've just had. We're going to induct new members into our Hall of Fame.
And we're going to watch a couple of movies, aren't we?
Yes, a couple of little movies
called short films.
And now let's take a look back at all the movies we've watched this year.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Violence.
Pleased to meet you, Violence. My name's Gluttony.
While violence...
My dad and I used to come out here and lay down and watch the lights change.
You could try it if you wanted to.
If you like boring things.
And she got me so nervous I spilled the milk I was making for the baby. Mama, you want to see me really spill some milk?
I'm sorry.
Feel the power of the lion when he roars like thunder.
The closer you get to them, the more they'd like you, the safer you'd be.
Holy shit. My God.
No one is gonna die, you hear me?
Except the people on the right side of the plane.
Either I'm going crazy or the entire world is insane.
That's what he says every night before going to bed.
Jamuga of the silver tongue.
Jamuga.
What say you of my prize, Jamuga?
Jamuga.
Jamuga.
The Hanson brothers. Don't call us 12 Eyes.
And as I end the refrain, thrust home.
A hit. A palpable hit.
Akira!
What is this kabuki business? That's my favorite Chuck Berry song. Too much kabuki business. Too much kabuki business. Too much kabuki business for me to be involved in.
I have my porn name for this movie. Butts and Hips Potemkin.
When I talked to my parents, I made a vow.
To be Batman. Oh, damn it.
Hey, let's go! Hey, let's go!
Let's go! Bus stop, bus goes, my neighbor Totoro. Please share my umbrella. Panic in the year zero. Hang the DJ, hang the DJ, hang the DJ.
What time is it?
0. Logan's Run. An anagram is Slogan Earn.
Welcome, humans. Overwhelming, am I not? Are you too startled?
Do you wish to say domo arigato to me?
You're an embarrassment to this company. It's going to take us years.
The protein's been synthesized.
Clive and Dren make love, but they're caught by Elsa.
I synthesized the protein.
We're gonna name you Shostakovich.
Mom, look, I dreamt I had a puppy and it came true.
Just like Freddy Krueger.
Were you in the mood before you found out?
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da.
I really was in the mood.
Da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. Come on, say it again.
I know that you were in the mood.
Da-da-da. Da-da-da-da.
The Cocaine Friends.
Say, I know a fella that can put you in a show right away.
It's called Frumpy Gals of 1935.
I have such a headache.
I got the grandest headache medicine in the world.
Enough with the headache powder. Get to the cocaine.
Can't help it, the girl can't help it.
How's your souffle?
It's the breast souffle, the best souffle I've ever had.
If a girl's gonna make it big in show business, she's got to be...
Not able to help it.
Blackula. The Black Scott Bakula.
And you will dwell in Blacklvania.
Susie.
Sitting in a shoe shine shop. When she sits, she shines all day. When she shines, she sits all day.
It's like the threat of Ariadne.
What? Bonzo won't eat. He's depressed.
You tried bananas?
Bananas, persimmons, coconuts.
Have you considered putting into some sort of bellhop outfit? Oh, it's a man with a hat on. We're fine. Ah! That could have been me.
That is how you beat the bad children. Normally Black Peter does this, but I had to let him go.
Which one was your favorite?
My Neighbor Totoro.
Yeah, that was mine too.
It was a hard choice between that and Marty. Both of those movies moved me immensely. They made me intensely happy. But Totoro has a perfect scene in it, and that's very, very rare, and that is the waiting for the bus sequence.
I don't even think My Neighbor Totoro is a movie for kids. I think it's a movie for adults to remind them what it was like to be a kid. So many of the details are so subtle that it's going to be completely over a kid's head. Different sized raindrops. The scene where Satsuki makes lunch for everybody, and May's so excited about it that she wants to eat it immediately after breakfast. You know, that's going to mean nothing to a kid, but an adult would be like, oh, I remember being that excited about something.
Or my kid does that.
Yeah. Obviously, a kid would be able to watch it and enjoy it, but I really think it's for an adult.
It's ideal because there is no villain in the movie.
You know, in a way, May is the villain.
Really?
Because she puts herself in peril.
Well, that doesn't make her a villain.
She's the antagonist.
Yeah.
My Neighbor Totoro is a great movie. It's my favorite as well, but I gotta give it up for Roar. Because like Phantom of the Paradise last year, it's a movie like none that I've seen before, and like none that I will ever see again.
And hopefully you never experience anything like that in real life. You'd love to meet a Totoro. You'd love to fall in love with the girl from Queens like Marty did. I don't know, maybe you'd love to be raptured away.
Speaking of raptured away, what was your least favorite movie of the year?
It was not Left Behind.
Oh.
It was close. My least favorite movie of the year was The Conqueror. The Conqueror was offensive on every single level. It was terribly boring. The dialogue was just so stupidly eloquent that you couldn't understand anything. Blatantly racist, and I know the word racist gets thrown around a lot, but the amount of yellow makeup in that movie, couldn't stand it.
But it had spectacle.
Yeah.
It had scenery. It had something. We watched many movies that I thought were pretty bad. I thought The Cocaine Fiends was terrible, but it had this weird kind of kitschy appeal.
Well, and also had moments that, you know, if you just isolate them, were really beautiful moments, like the woman contemplating suicide.
But there's one movie we watched this year that really had nothing interesting about it, and that was Left Behind.
If I was a religious person, I would be offended by this movie.
At this time, we also like to look back on the movies that we've seen and give new observations that we've come up with in hindsight. Staircase thoughts, as the French call them.
L'esprit de l'escalier.
One thing we didn't know at the time is that the director of You Only Live Twice, Lewis Gilbert, also directed another film that we watched on this show, and that would be Alfie.
That's right. That's interesting. You got Kane and Connery. I call Sean Connery Shawnery because it saves me time.
And I don't know if this is something that we've talked about since we watched it, but one of the weird things about The Girl Can't Help It is that Fats Murdoch is really the only three-dimensional character in that movie.
That would be the gangster who's kind of sets the plot into motion?
Yeah. He's the only one who has a clear desire for something.
Yeah.
He's the only one who takes steps to achieve it, and he's the only character that changes. And you could say that Jerry Jordan has wants and needs, but she doesn't really do much to pursue them.
No, really, she is the antagonist of the movie because she is trying to block the desires of Edmund O'Brien.
I've got a couple of instances of what I like to call fun with inflation. We talked about the cocaine fiends.
The whole week's been good. After I give the butcher's cut, I'll have over $40 left.
Adjusted for inflation, that would mean she made over $700 in 1 week. Also, in Panic in Year Zero, Ray Milland's character goes on a camping and hunting and fishing trip with hundreds and hundreds of dollars in his wallet. Looking at how much he spends before he runs out of money, I would say he probably has about $450 in his wallet. Adjusted for inflation, he'd be going on that camping trip with over $3,600. That's right, Cecil.
He was prepared.
Apparently, either the camping fees at Shives Meadows were astronomical, or he was thinking he would have to bribe a trout.
Come on, get on the hook.
Now make it worth your while.
Oh, I guess so. I'll just get on the hook for a second, and then you can give me the money.
And lastly, I want to talk a little bit about Logan's Run. This is not a movie featuring great acting, but it's not a movie that features terrible acting, except in one instance. The runner in the Cathedral District is an awful actress. Her performance did not make it into our episode, so I'd like to share it with you right now.
Runner.
There's been a terrible error. My life clock must have broken in some way.
Should be green. Did you hear me? Green.
Now, don't be afraid. I am not going to hurt you. This means nothing to you.
And of course, my favorite bit of acting from her is this.
No.
That could be a new meme for our show. Like the bat?
Mm-hmm.
It's like anytime someone says a corny joke or a stupid comment, we cut to that. An example of that could be this moment from our previous episode.
We have a young Natalie Wood in this movie. She disappears from the movie.
Maybe that's why the second half of the movie wore on you.
Yeah, there
no
we
Natalie
go.
Wood.
No Natalie Wood. Think of what a Natalie could.
Well, we can't just sit here talking all day because we got to go to the old leather couch and watch something.
Yes.
Many great feature films started off as short films. Bottle Rocket, Boogie Nights, Sling Blade, the list goes on and on. And many of these short films were the launching point for great careers, including this one. Before Star Wars, before American Graffiti, there was a weird little movie called THX-1138. And before that, there was an even littler movie with an even weirder title called Electronic Labyrinth, THX-1138 4EB. Created in 1967 by a young George Lucas while he was at the University of Southern California Film School, this was a collaboration between him and the U.S. Navy. You see, USC had an arrangement with the Navy that their naval filmmakers could come there for additional study. And the Navy would pay for unlimited color film stock and lab processing fees for its students. Now, this class was really unpopular among USC professors because apparently the Navy gets a little rowdy when they're in the classroom. So George Lucas agreed to teach the class so he could get his hands on all that film. He was also able to use his naval students as his cast and crew and gain access to locations that normally would not be available to him. Lucas later remade this as the theatrical film THX-1138 in 1971.
With Robert Duvall and Donald Pleasance.
That's the movie we're watching, so let's go watch it.
The lion sleeps tonight. Come on, sing it with me. The lion sleeps tonight.
George Lucas. George... God, I know that name.
I believe it's pronounced Georges Lucas.
Locality code 3166159 Tango Whiskey 00.
Boy, the sound on this is terrible.
Yeah?
Why would he name a sound system after this? THX-1138 4EB is on the run.
He is running through an elaborate electronic labyrinth. That too.
We see his wife complaining about him to someone.
We were never in love with that.
Come on, 1138 and 7117 kissing in a tree. And there's a lot of people working on catching this guy.
Sorry, I didn't get all of that. I understood, but I didn't quite hear the rest of it.
We had a weapon malfunction. But run he does.
He runs and he runs and he runs.
And he runs some more, and they keep reporting on the fact that he's running.
Yep, and numbers are flying.
Yeah, you like numbers, you'll love this movie. This is a movie that some autistic kid is like, oh, I totally get this. It speaks my language. It's in code. I'm talking not all autistic people. I'm just saying that there's this one guy.
There's a spectrum.
Yeah, there's a spectrum.
64776.
And this movie is on that spectrum. Mr. Bean is on the run.
For as many people and computers and teletype machines I have on this case, nobody is getting close to this guy.
THX, I call him THX because I feel like I'm familiar with him.
I call him Thix.
He runs into an elevator.
There's this noise that they're attacking him with. Finally, the guys who are not supposed to let people escape, they're fighting back.
Punch him in the ears. But boy, after all this running, THX is going to be so ripped.
Yeah, his calves are going to be like rocks.
I pictured George Lucas writing the dialogue for this. 88172. No, not 172. What? 183. You done it, George. You done it again.
Honey, listen to this.
One of the guys catches up with him. There's one set for stun. But THX ends up shooting him.
Somehow. Someone is really impressed by him to the point where he says a word of dialogue.
Incredible.
In this movie, that's practically a monologue. He gets to a door.
Well, door's locked. I guess I'll go back.
Oh, wait, there's a crowbar right here that somebody left here. He opens it up, and what does he find? Does he stop running? Nope.
Great, now I have to run across the entire world. He just keeps on running.
Yep. Run.
Literally off into the sunset. So he's done all this because he hates his wife.
That's it?
That's what I'm gathering.
I have gathered nothing.
We watched Electronic Labyrinth, THX-1138, 4EB. Why is the title so damn long?
I don't know. Because he was a kid. Later he thought, how about Star Wars? It's a perfect title. Wars that take place in the stars.
THX ran away because he hated his wife.
Or something, or he just did not feel...
In the beginning of the movie, they're talking to his wife and she's complaining about him. And she's saying, I didn't love him.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's the only piece of information they give us about his life.
Maybe the fact that he doesn't want to be in the suppressive society, maybe he wants to see the outside world, but that's stuff we just have to guess.
And she's the only character who has character. We know something about her. We don't know anything about THX. We don't know anything about the guy who says, incredible.
A few years ago, I made the realization that car chases have nothing on foot chases. I realized this while watching various film noir movies, which a lot of times will climax in a foot chase.
Naked City has a great foot chase.
Yeah. Those are far more fascinating and exciting and scary than any car chase. This was not a foot race. This was just a man running.
Yeah.
No one is chasing him.
They're chasing him via surveillance.
Mm-hmm. And how's that working out? As far as excitement goes?
Well, I think you're already answering your own question.
Visually and orally, this is a very interesting movie, but...
It's a student film. Well, let's go back to the old leather couch and watch another short film that you have brought us.
It's one you might have seen before, and it's one you brought up just a few minutes ago. We're watching Bottle Rocket.
I must be some kind of psychic.
And I must be some sort of sidekick. Released onto the festival circuit in 1994, Wes Anderson's Bottle Rocket is 13 minutes of black and white fun. It was noticed by a couple Hollywood heavyweights, James L. Brooks and Polly Platt, and they threw some money at young Wes Anderson, and he made the feature-length version of Bottle Rocket, which I believe you've seen at least 6 times.
Yes.
Yes, because it was part of your cinema immersion tank.
Mm-hmm.
And that movie was released in 1996. It was a box office bomb, and Wes Anderson and the Wilson brothers were never heard from ever again.
Oh.
That's too bad.
That's really too bad.
Yeah, they seemed really promising. Have you seen the short film before?
I don't think so.
Well, you're going to be watching it now, so light your fuse and point your bottle over at the old leather couch, or big leather couch if you prefer, and watch the Bottle of the Rocket.
Please don't point your bottle. It's very rude.
Bottle Rocket, starring Cab Calloway. the Harlem Hoofers, and Langston Hughes. In Bottle Rocket, Anthony and Dignan are planning a robbery.
Break into the house in question, and they very politely and lightly ransack the place.
You go upstairs and steal stuff, and I'll go around down here. I'll see what's down here. It's my Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at what's in these drawers. Coins. This is the grooviest B&E I've ever seen.
Wallpaper. A definite inspiration for his later work.
They steal all this stuff, and then they go and have some lunch. Play a little pinball. They were robbing Anthony's house.
Anthony, we'll get 200 for the coins alone.
Or have we used all the coins on this machine? I don't know. Anthony finds out that Dignan stole these earrings that Dignan wasn't supposed to steal because they were a gift that Anthony gave his mom. This was basically just a practice run to see how well they can fare as criminals.
Cornel West disapproves.
$8. Shit, what'd I tell you?
These guys aren't small-time crooks. They're like molecular-time crooks.
$8. That's not bad.
Okay, this came out in what? 90?
94.
94? I'm gonna have to figure out $8 adjusted for inflation. They're gonna rob a bookstore. But first, they need a gun. So they talk to this guy.
A weapon is anything you hold in your hand. It can be a knife, a pencil, ballpoint pen.
It could be one of those calligraphy pens. Then it would be the fanciest murder you've ever committed.
This is the most Texan moment in all of Wes Anderson's movies.
He's a pepper. He also is an arms dealer.
They go off and they try out some of the wares and they decide on a big old hand cannon.
The guys meet with their buddy Bob to plan the bookstore robbery. Don't steal any books from the remainder bin. They're not worth anything. Stay away from mass market paperbacks. Go for the trades or hardcovers only.
They've cased out the joint. They know what's going on in there.
Fast forward to after the robbery. They're having burgers and shakes and they're reminiscing about how well the robbery went. They congratulate each other on a job well done, and then...
Fiend.
Oh, Dignan and Anthony have a little foot race. That is the end of Bottle Rocket. No bottle rockets were harmed in the making of this short film. We watched Bottle Rocket, and it exploded all over us.
Oh.
No, that's not good. We watched Bottle Rocket. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, we did watch Bottle Rocket.
The short version.
I know. That saves you so much time. If you would have done the cinema immersion tank with this, you could have had it done in like an hour and 15 minutes.
And I could just done it all in one day.
Yeah. Out of any of the younger generation of directors working today, the ones 1990s on, other than possibly Tarantino, Wes Anderson has the most distinct style. What things stylistically of Wes Anderson did you see and not see in this movie?
I don't think I saw much.
There wasn't much of that portraiture shot in this movie.
Right.
He's shooting at angles, as you're taught, to give dimension to a room. So like when they're going around the house, you're looking at corners a lot.
I don't see a lot of Wes Anderson in the full version of Bottle Rocket. I mean, it is a very nascent, is that the word I'm looking for? Nascent?
I don't know what nascent means.
Nascent.
Sure, it's
why not?
Totes nascent, man.
It's like embryonic Wes Anderson.
It's only 13 minutes long, and we see a robbery, the lead up and aftermath of another robbery,
and a foot chase, which we know that you like.
I love foot chases. 5 or 6 independent scenes in this movie that all took place in the span of 12 to 13 minutes.
Whereas in THX, we had one very long, drawn-out scene.
So it's a very economic movie plot-wise.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like a Wes Anderson movie, but you know who it did seem like? Jim Jarmusch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, watching this, they're walking around ratty neighborhoods of town.
I think in this, Wes Anderson is borrowing a lot of styles, probably from filmmakers that he admires, and searching for his own.
Bottle rockets freaked me out. I knew someone who'd light them and like, just toss them in the air.
Yeah, that's not safe.
I know, but it's cool while it's happening.
Well, you should run over to our website, welcometothebasementshow.com. There are all the episodes that we've ever made there, and there's a PayPal donation button. You can donate a few dollars to support our show.
Not actually a button. It's an icon on a screen. You put the cursor on it, you click, and that's how you do it.
Don't patronize them.
There's a lot of people who haven't donated yet. Maybe they haven't figured it out.
We've got a lot of great donors out there, including Dan, who says, "Welcome to the Basement is a great show. And as a local Wisconsinite, it fills a void I've felt since we lost Roger Ebert and Gene Siskel. You and Craig are a great pair." Thank you, Dan.
That's very high praise.
And if you want to find out who the rest of our donors are and see the contents of our mailbag, things that people send us in our P.O. box, you can watch Unboxing, the final unboxing of the year, this coming Friday.
This is not our last bit of fun that we have for you in 2016.
And now, this is something I've been looking forward to all year. We're going to induct some new members into our Hall of Fame. So who is our first new inductee?
Jessica Harper, who is the co-star of Phantom of the Paradise and the star of Suspiria. She just has a face that could bring a lot of depth to characters that
don't have a lot of depth.
Yeah.
Jessica Harper, welcome to the Hall. Next up, we have a filmmaker, someone whose work has appeared on our show twice, and that would be Russ Meyer.
The dirty old man of America cinema.
Mr. Meyer.
Welcome to violence.
And welcome to our Hall of Fame.
Next, we have someone who has appeared on 3 episodes. That would be Catch-22, Ishtar, and Beethoven. That would be Charles Grodin.
That's right. Well, we're willing to look the other way on Ishtar and welcome you to the Hall of Fame, Charles Grodin. And I believe our first screenwriter is being inducted into the Hall of Fame. He wrote Paint Your Wagon.
Yes.
He wrote the book that inspired Altered States, and he wrote one of our favorite films from this season. That would be Marty, Paddy Chayefsky.
He had a good long career in film, won a few Oscars, I believe, and now he wins a membership to the Hall of Fame. And someone who gets in just in the last half of this year, the star of Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice and Miracle on 34th Street, Natalie Wood.
We get to see her in 2 distinct phases of her life, and we get to see that she was a talent to be reckoned with even when she was only 8 years old.
Years old, yeah.
There we go. 5 new members of our Hall of Fame, but we're forgetting a very important inductee, and that would be in the non-human category.
I don't know what he's about to say.
I'm not going to tell you who the non-human inductee is. I'm going to show you. And if your face hurts at the end of this montage, my apologies.
Sucker.
More punches!
Dren! The brand new baseball glove that I've been asking for.
Smack! Oh, there we go. More punches!
Wait a minute, what would you like?
Penno.
Punch.
You wait over there. Mama wants to thank Santa Claus, too.
Punch. Punch 'em outs. Currency in year 0 is punches. Punch 'em. Whatever.
You can call it slapping, you can call it hitting, but to me it's all punching. And now,
5,
it's time.
3, 7,
for Seen It.
11.
We have a couple of Seen It's that we've gotten through the mail. Why don't you tell us what those are?
From all the way up in British Columbia, Sean Henry writes, Kelly's Heroes. Specifically, he says Donald Sutherland as the oddball proto-beatnik in Kelly's Heroes. Perhaps the best part of a fairly bad movie. Seen it?
I saw Kelly's Heroes a long time ago. I don't remember much about it, and most of my memories are probably from The Dirty Dozen. And
Yeah.
I'm kind of combining the two. But I do remember Donald Sutherland giving a really entertaining performance.
Yeah, he plays this hippie in World War II, and it's like, we don't shoot missiles, man, we shoot paint. That's oh so late 1960s. This is a movie that has a cast of every swinging dick in Hollywood. It's got Carol O'Connor, it's got Hockey Puck, Don Rickles.
Clint Eastwood.
I think it also might have been the inspiration for Three Kings, because it's about a handful of guys going beyond enemy lines to get some lost enemy gold.
And you got a letter there?
From Colin. Have you guys seen the 1987 Alex Cox film Straight to Hell, starring Joe Strummer, Courtney Love, Elvis Costello, half the lineup of the Pogues, and the entire supporting cast of Repo Man? Seen it?
Yes, I have seen it. That's one of his weirder films, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah, Alex Cox is a strange man.
I didn't find it as entertaining as stuff like Sid and Nancy or Repo Man.
Yeah. I don't know if you noticed this when you saw it. No one swears in the entire movie.
Wow.
It's a story about all these outlaws out in the deserts of Mexico. No one swears. They all say, like, ah, heck, and stuff like that. And it inspired a Pogue song.
Yep. Fiesta.
Fiesta, which
they were shooting down in Mexico. Dane Thanor writes, where is the Lost Weekend review? As anyone will know from watching this show, we have seen it.
Oh, that's where that clip's from?
Shut up, you.
Okay.
The Lost Weekend is a movie that I own. I have seen it many times. It made me a big fan of Ray Milland. It's really fascinating seeing someone who's so poised and dignified play this character that is so desperate and so turned into a monster by his addiction. It just speaks to his gifts as an actor that he can play against type so much. And now the last Seen It of the year, and what we like to do is we like to review a classic film, an undisputed masterpiece, but we don't talk about what we liked about it. We talk about what we didn't like about it. The Crazy Family Show writes, have either of you watched any of the Godfather movies? I'm sure you have. They are classics. Seen them.
Seen them.
Now I'm going to put aside Godfather 3. We're not even going to talk about it because it's too easy. It's an easy target. Godfather 1 and 2, though, pretty much unimpeachable. Or are they?
Well, other than there's the flub of when Sonny punches his brother-in-law and he clearly misses the face.
That's something.
That's something, but it's like it's a Persian flaw. You need one little flaw in the movie.
I have a problem, along with the creator of the film, Francis Ford Coppola, of the sequencing of Godfather 2. I don't like the fact that it goes back and forth in time, and neither did he. In fact, he re-released it and put it in chronological order.
On TV, they would show the saga over 3 nights.
Right. And he says that that's a better way to tell the story, and I agree with him.
I'm still trying to think of a flaw of that movie. Sorry, I can't. It feels like my tongue would go on fire if I said anything bad.
That's Seen It.
And that's our show.
And that's our year. We want to thank you for joining us for this 5th season of Welcome to the Basement. We had a great time watching movies with you and talking about them with you. We talked about them with each other, but we feel like we all have a dialogue that's going on here, and that's one of the rewarding things about the show. Time for me to give you my final gift of 2016. Judging from the discussion we've just had, I think it's something you'll like.
All right. Oh, this is wonderful. He's happy because he has an umbrella. I'm going to take him outside in the rain next time it rains. Oh, thank you, Matt.
We'll be going on a hiatus for the holidays, and we will be returning February 3rd with our first episode of the new year.
Check our Facebook page. There's going to be quite a few updates probably during January. Little things, little questions that we have for you.
And look at our Season 5 playlist and make sure that there aren't any episodes that you missed. And maybe you might want to rewatch some, and our playlist has all the episodes from Season 5, and in fact, there are playlists for every season of this show.
If you're thinking, I can't wait until February 3rd, don't worry, because next week we're coming back with an unboxing.
Thanks so much for watching our show and continuing to watch our show. Go to welcometothebasementshow.com and go to Facebook. Like us if you haven't done that yet on our Facebook page. And we look forward to seeing you again real soon. Good night.
Good night.
Air Garaldi.
Incredible.